big bluegills, cloudy days. Big bluegills equals cloudy days equal big bluegills. All right, you rolling?
Check out that guy right there.
Oh, here it comes. It's a giant. Oh my goodness. Oh my. That's the biggest bluegill that I've caught this year. Just absolute stud of a gill. Wow. Now that's a hen. That's a hen of hens. Beautiful. Ate the little leadhead jig with the ear larva. 7 foot of water. Up on top of this weed flat. Still catching them. It's high noon. Clear water. We got an advantage because we got some clouds. And we're just gonna keep catching these dandies, man.
So why are clouds good? Why do we like this?
Well, in clear water lakes, usually your best bite windows for panfish, especially crappies, but in some cases bluegills, I've found that out the last couple of days fishing a lake down the road about 20 minutes, is the best bite windows have been in the evenings, you know, even into the dark a little bit in some cases. But you get a day like today where it's not only cloudy, but if you look around us, it's almost like foggy or misting out. That low light, these fish seem to really enjoy, and I think it's going to continue on for the rest of the day. Okay. Wow. Another 9.5. Bluegill, look at this thing here. Look at that. What a beautiful fish. Man, that's a jumbo gill. That's one thing today's day and age, you know, throughout ice fishing, you know, because you have a lot of the fish concentrated together, that you can really hurt populations of fish. You know, it's sort of interesting. In Minnesota, we have these 5-fish bluegill lakes, and they've actually seen in studies that the size of the fish have increased 1 inch. And when you're talking adding inches on bluegills, they get pretty big. Well, you better get this one back.
Pretty solid one. Now, as you can see, I've got a little bit, that's a nice fish. I've got a little bit of a different system going on here. Personally, I'm actually fishing with the AquaView underwater camera. And what I've got going on is most guys when they rig, oops, down the hole. Most guys when they rig cameras, they rig them so they're viewing horizontally. But what I have going on right here is, you'll actually see, I got it shooting straight down. And it's actually a really efficient system. The head of the camera right there is really right where my transducer would be if I was using a flasher, so it's not getting in the way. I guess you could argue it's getting in the way just as much as a flasher would.
Ooh. Check out that guy right there. Just a real solid gill.
Here, this is like about a 9.5 inch bull bluegill. These are the fish that you want to release. You want to release the males. Believe it or not, you want to keep your smaller hens. Well, let's tuck her back. She's a giant. Sweet, dude. Let's keep pounding.
You know, there's a number of different patterns for catching bluegills. Right now we're actually on a lake, and we're up on a great big weed flat. You can see this great big weed flat. It dumps into a deeper basin out in here. And the interesting thing is all lakes are individually different. Like in this particular lake, all winter long, these fish actually inhabit this weed flat. In some lakes, this happens to be a sort of a mesotrophic clear water lake with, you know, a deep weed line, probably about 14, 15 foot of water. But the interesting thing is that other bodies of water, more dark water lakes, a lot of those fish dump off into the deeper basin. So there's a couple of different potential patterns or locations where to find bluegills and crappies in any given lake.
Little pumpy. I like pumpkin seeds. Why not?
or green.
I like them.
True bluegills are hard to beat. Come on.
Yeah, true bluegills are hard to beat, I'll admit that.
Shake it off like Taylor Swift, right?
It's my favorite artist.
Oh, you just gotta let them suck on it. Oh, not a bad gill. Little bluegill. So what's kind of interesting, we're out here today, we're catching fish on a shallow weed flat. A couple days ago I was fishing a lake in the area here, and we were catching them off the deep weed line. And so in the fall we had contacted these fish in kind of the same area, and even in the summertime the fish are hovering around this deep weed line. So these fish in this lake are using these shallow weeds just like the fish in the deep water lake were using the deeper weed edge. And so this is kind of, you can find them pretty much seasonally around the weeds. It's just, it depends lake to lake, you know, how deep the weed line is, you know, is there big clumps of weeds. So that's just something you got to figure out. I use an AquaView camera a lot of the time to find these areas where these fish are holding, and then you fine tune your patterns, and you can catch a lot of fish. Oh, there's one. Pop the deucer. Yeah, so today we're out here on a local lake catching nice gills. There's a dandy. I've got fishing with a 30-inch precision noodle, tuned up custom rods, paired with 2-pound fluorocarbon, and a little lead head jig with some meat on it today. They're eating meat. They've been a little picky. We tried plastics, but they weren't having it. We switched to meat, and we're getting some to bite. There's a nice bull gill there. We're gonna get her back and put some more topside.
I got one going. Oh, there he is. There he is. Ooh, look at that one. Great big one. Big bully. Look at that little bull master. Ah, shoot. So I am gonna go the Hayes Baldwin collaring trick. You get the ones that nibble the tail off like that. You still have that flavor on there, so because you have a lot of some smaller ones and fish nipping them off. We'll see if we can get another one here. I don't think this is
Not a panfish?
no.
You got a pickle up over there?
It's a bass.
Big largie.
I think so. This does not.
You want the
feel like
assist or no?
that. Wow. Nice.
Green one.
Here we go. I like him. I like those green ones. He came in, I set the hook on him, I was going to say, that's not a bluegill.
What's a day of gill fishing without a few bass and pike, right?
No question about it.
So we're out here bluegill fishing. I call this a Billy Bass bonus, right? A nice little bonus fish. Playing around in the weeds out here. Send him home. Nice. Good little bonus. All right. So I missed a fish, and I could feel it was nipping on my worm. I know I fed a Euro larva up the collar of the jig, so I know I still do have bait on. That way I don't have to reel up. Here he comes. He's gonna eat it, right? Got him. Oh, here it comes. It's a giant. Oh my goodness. Look at the size of that bull bluegill. Stunning. Now, something interesting about this fish, I was jigging, and it was actually only 1.5 feet underneath the ice. So he was up high and he was cruising, and he really wanted it. Look at that little hook in his jaw. That's a real dandy fish. I mean, fills up both hands. I mean, look at the size of that bluegill. Absolute stunner. Look at the size of the ear on it. I mean, look at the ear is the size of my thumb.